we are talking about tactics. This is a quite explosive theme for a lot of grandmasters, in my opinion. How do you train tactics? What is your approach for that?
So when I was still improving from an amateur player to like increasing in levels in my play, I would usually solve tactics from either websites, various websites. There are many websites. Also a bit from books, but mainly from websites, I would say. But nowadays it's like you have to solve. At least I solve a bit more sophisticated tactics, like not simple like pin, skewer. That's not that kind of stuff. Because otherwise, like if you're told to solve a tactic, then you know it's a tactic, right? But such kind of simple things I would only like do before a game, just to get my mind working, right? But like if you ask about tactics, I usually do them from books. Like I have this book right now that has really many puzzles. It's called Recognizing Your Opponent's Resources by Mark Dvoretsky, the famous chess trainer. And this book is pretty well known and famous, used by many coaches as well. So actually, this book, I have had it for quite some time now, maybe 5 to 7 years now. But in the beginning, like 5 to 7 years back, I was very like weak, and these positions were quite difficult for me. And I would probably get like on one page there are 6 puzzles. I'd probably get 1 out of 6 if I'm lucky, something like this.
Wow.
So it was quite difficult.
My goodness.
So yeah, after all these years, I decided, wait, why don't I try these? Maybe I've got better since then.
Let's see the progress I made in the last years. And how does it look like on a page of 6 puzzles? What is your score now?
It's more like 4 or 5 to 6, but in those 1 or 2, I'm clumsy.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter as long as it's improving my tactical sense. I don't care. And yeah, I mean the positions are very interesting even now after all these years, and it's not like reduced in level or something. So this book, for example, has like hundreds of puzzles, like hundreds, literally hundreds. So like there are many puzzles to work on, and I don't do like, if this book gets over, then I'll probably get another book or something. But I don't have like a specific way of training in tactics. Like as I said in the previous episode, the first episode, I analyze games, like just take a random game, right? Like while analyzing, if you notice, tactics are just there in the position, right? So you would notice these tactics. So I think in that sense, it's also tactical training. It has like just analyzing game would also count as tactical training. It could count as analytical training, strategic thinking. I mean, like it's just analysis, right? So
it seems to be one of the key cores of how to improve loads of different aspects in chess.
Yeah. So I don't really work on tactics like apart from this book. It's just
interesting.
Yeah, it's just a way of I would call it light work, where you don't have to put much effort. Just solve the tactics.
Yeah. I mean, there's like several different opinions on how to train in the gym, how long, how intense, what to eat, etc., etc. I think this applies a lot to chess as well. So I've heard some chess grandmasters or professional chess players who said like, well, there has to be at least 15 minutes every day. Some say 3 hours every day. Others say tactics hardly at all. How much time do you think you say light, but how much time do you invest in tactics a day?
I don't think about it as time. I just solve like one page, maybe 2 pages, but usually just 1 page every day. That's like 6 positions. Takes about half an hour to 1 hour. It could range how well I solve and how fast I solve the positions, but I don't think of it specifically in time. I just try to solve it.
Okay. So now, of course, since you and we are talking about tactics, you brought a couple of examples for us viewers to try to find a solution, and you can share the screen now, and we will try to guess. All right, so here we have a first example, and of course those examples are not for the light-hearted. It's going to be a bit more difficult, I assume. Okay, so black just moved the rook to e2. The queen
But
went...
it's not like you have to solve a tactic here. These are more like you have to make a decision based on tactics. Like you have to just try and think about what you're going to play next and try to observe some tactics or tactical flaws, something like this.
Okay. For you at home, you Leon will just mention when it might be a good time to pause the video and think for yourself. But just one question quickly. So, for example, I have the feeling I have seen, maybe, I'm not sure if I've seen this position, but maybe something similar. So I guess the more you do tactics, the more often you have this thing in your head where you go like, yeah, I understand how this is going, or where the idea or the plan is leading to. How do you deal with that? Do you trust that more and more, or do you go like, well, I have to go into the full analysis anyway, there's no way around it?
I would say for tactical patterns, definitely you can like it comes to you because they're like patterns. Humans tend to recognize patterns better than other things. So, I mean, tactical patterns definitely help. Like, let's say you feel there's a tactical pattern here which you've seen before. Probably it's there, and you've probably seen it because you know about it. But if you're talking about recollecting some type of position or something that you might have seen before, that usually applies to me only in openings. Like when I forget and I try to think, wait, this could have been in my file, but it's yeah, but not usually like positions randomly. Like for example, this position. Yeah, I mean, I've not seen something like this before, so it usually does not apply with random positions to me.
Okay, cool. So now I will try to solve this. That was, by the way, it's Judith Polga against Julio Granda Zuniga. How much time did you yourself take to solve this? Did you even solve it, by the way?
Yeah, this one I remember solving, but it was pretty quicker than the others at least, because the thing is you just have to make a decision and using tactics. Not specifically, you just have to try and make a decision. If tactics appear, then they will appear. So yeah, just try to play the next move. That's how I approach it.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a couple. I'm discovering so many problems. Unfortunately, I cannot really counter the checkmate by black that much. So the queen is staying on g2, focusing on g2, and our rooks have to stay in the back. So I cannot really do anything else without giving a lot of checks. I feel. Well, of course, there's only two checks here, which is the queen going to either to c8 or to a8. But then there's always this pesky knight getting back to f8.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so what if we take back with the queen, because we have to give checks in tactics, that's what I learned, the king will take. And if the rook goes down to c8 to check the king will just escape to e7, and I'm having a hard time
missing the queen.
Yeah, it's just like there's too many options now. So there must be a different way. I don't want to prolong this too much, but maybe there is a different move than check here. Maybe I don't need to check, but I just have to find a move which keeps the queen and the rooks where they are. So in this case, I'm thinking about the knight. And what could the knight do? Because it's difficult. Okay, so it might take me longer than I thought it would. All right, we need a solution, Leon.
No, I'm not saying they're easy. It was not too easy for me either. So actually, you're talking about the knight moves. The first thing I saw in this position was just trick.
That was this one, too.
Because takes is met by check, forcing the knight back, and then whoops.
That would
queen
be very
falls.
beautiful, exactly. But of
Yeah.
course, black
But of course,
doesn't need to.
yeah, exactly. Then I soon realized that there's no point to knight f5. Like it's a senseless move. If you black simply plays something like h6 or maybe h5,
Mhm.
I don't see the point of knight f5. Doesn't make
Yes,
sense.
yes, that's the problem.
So,
Yeah, there's no threat.
so that's why I rejected knight f5.
Mhm.
So the next tempting move that came to my mind was rook f1. And incidentally, this was played in the game.
Oh,
And the idea is to meet queen takes g2. Should I make the moves? Because
sure,
then,
yes.
no, the problem is if I make the moves, then the dialogue of new variation would appear, and then the people could see the move.
Okay, fair
No,
enough.
but I can. So I'll just try to explain it, and maybe you can try to visualize it.
Yes, this is
So
a good
let's
training
say,
for you too at home and for me.
yeah. So let's say the most natural move for black is queen takes g2 check. Then white has to take back queen takes g2 with the queen on c6.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe I can do like this. Queen takes g2, like Hikaru. Rook takes g2.
1,000 arrows.
Yeah. And after rook takes g2,
There's a mate
the
threat.
tempting move is rook c8 check.
Mm-hmm.
Knight blocks, pesky knight blocks as usual. And then we see the move rook takes f7.
No. Yeah, but then of course, there's a.
And now it looks like checkmate, right?
Yeah,
On
but
f8 because this knight is being attacked by both.
there must
Then
be a
we
resource.
Yeah, then we see rook takes h2 check. King g1. This is all pretty forced actually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say whichever move, this rook or the other rook moves to g2 check back.
Mm-hmm.
We just go king f1. And now no rook can check on the f file because of this rook on f7, which controls f2. And so therefore, rook f1 looks nice because of this variation, right? Pretty forced, the whole thing.
Absolutely.
But now we know there's a question mark after rook f1. So how exactly does black play over here?
Okay, so that is super tricky. So what would happen if... Oh, that doesn't work either. Oops. Oh, that is quite nice, I have to say.
I'll remove the arrows, by the way.
So now, how funny, I cannot really find the move for black here.
It's just a tricky move.
It is, it seems to be, but how tricky is this? Oh, is it just rook c2?
Yes, that's right. Rook b c2.
Nice. Okay.
Rook e c2 is also fine, but rook b c2
rook b to c2. That's what I'm. Yeah. Of course, you take away the defender of the other rook, and the queen is attacked. So yeah, this will fail. Back rank 2.
Rook takes f2 is met by rook takes c6, which is really nice.
Very cute, yeah.
And so check is the most natural move and probably the only move. And black blocks. The reason why this works is, let's say, like h3 is pretty much the only move. Mm-hmm. The reason is now the knight is on f8. So let's say we try to compare with the previous variation, right? And we move the rook here or here, let's say.
Yeah.
Now, in the previous variation, in the original position, we saw that the queen was attacked, and we wondered why not queen takes g2, right? Takes. Now, the difference is that the knight is on f8 and not on d7.
So there's no check.
So you don't. Yeah, let's say the rook was on a1, because even if the knight was on d7, rook b8 is not possible.
Yeah.
Let's just, for example, this is probably the other losing move. Takes. Yeah, so the difference is that the knight is on f8, and you basically don't have a check with tempo. And so, yeah, black is just winning because he's going to take the pawns, and yeah, everything falls.
Yeah.
And quite sophisticated if you're trying to explain it, but it just works for black.
Yeah, absolutely. No. I mean, it's quite straightforward so far. So that was also not working for white.
Yeah, rook f1 doesn't work. So if you just eliminate like this one by one,
Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll come to the move rook g1. Why not defend the pawn, right? And maybe bring this rook next. Sorry,
Oh
this rook
my
next.
gosh. Oh
No, it's more like
goodness.
decision making using tactics. It's not like tactics.
Okay, that is really, really, really rough. Because you normally, yeah, as you said, it's a bit more sophisticated. It's not like this, like where's the skewer, where's the pin, or
Yeah,
something like this. I'm just looking for
yeah.
like some strange, interesting, fun moves. But
Mhm.
actually, the winning move is Rook G1 with
It's
following
not
up.
really winning, but it's the best move in the position, and I think it
Ah,
even
gotcha.
gives White a small advantage somehow.
Yes, I understand. Oh, oof, yeah. So now I also get much more why it is important to do your analysis, like you've mentioned it in the very first episode, because the tactics
Mhm.
are coming up. Stuff like this. This is considered a tactic.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's more like it's not really tactic, but it's decision making using tactics. I would call it that because, yeah,
I think I understand. Yes. Do you have one more example?
yeah, sure. By the way, I just would like to mention that okay, after Rook G1, this is the main line. If
Yes,
you go
please.
and check the computer's evaluation, and after Rook GF1, it's like White is slightly better. But as you can see, that Black had to play very precisely in order to get to this position, which I think he should be able to hold.
My
But it
goodness.
doesn't matter. In a game, you just play Rook G1, and like you've passed. It's like a game of tennis. You've hit the ball to the opponent's court.
I
Now it's his
understand.
turn
Yeah.
to react.
Wow. Okay.
Is the question is knight takes d4 possible for White? This move.
Yeah, is knight takes d4 possible? Ladies and gentlemen, take your time. This is not the usual tactics we're getting in fun apps or fun books or having to can look at on Twitter or something like that.
By
This,
the way, I should mention that I didn't solve this one. I failed this one.
oh my gosh. Oh god. How much time should one take for a puzzle?
Until you solve it.
Okay, that's a good
Or
answer.
if you get it wrong. But usually, if usually should try and just make sure you've got it right, and just try to check everything.
So one difficult question now that I'm thinking of it, in the position before, it wasn't like that obvious like white wins or something like this. It's just
Yeah.
like find the best move to get, yeah, the best advantage. This is difficult for an amateur player to grasp this, I think, right?
Mm, I mean, I do it because, like, the simple tactics, pretty much anyone would be able to solve if they were told there's a tactic. And
Yeah,
as you
yeah, yeah,
go
yeah,
higher
yeah, yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
as
That's
you go
so
higher
true.
in level in chess, it becomes more and more easier.
Yeah.
So I kind of try. I like this book because it has this type of positions where you have to try and make a decision.
Very good.
Sometimes you can, like, for example, the position I'm showing you. Like Mark Dvoretsky is very smart because it's not like is knight takes d4 possible and you try and refute it. It might be possible. It might very much be possible. In most of the cases, it's like is knight takes d4 possible? No, it's not because you've asked me so.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, for you at home, as I mentioned already, stop the video, think about it as long until you get it. Put all you have until you can solve it, and if it takes an hour or two or days. My God, what was the? If you have you ever sat on a tactical puzzle longer than a couple of hours?
No, no. But for studies, yes. There's one study I'm still thinking about for
My
8
gosh.
months.
No. Are you
But I'm
kidding
not
me?
really thinking about it all the time. When I
Yeah.
get bored, I start thinking about it.
What is chess? You should really, if you haven't started yet playing, you should go for it. Okay. Now, okay. So obviously, I mean, I won't solve it in a couple of minutes,
Mhm.
but from I can only tell you what my gut feeling says.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you actually,
Okay.
because yeah.
Perfect. Good. So My gut feeling says it looks dangerous, but it is possible. So of course there's like f2 and g3, which are maybe maybe they have taken advantage of, and then b4. Oh, there's too much. Okay, my gut feeling says it's possible.
Okay.
I would have moved it
And
now as white.
now I'll tell you what my gut feeling said. My gut feeling said, hell no, you can't take that pawn. But at the same time, I didn't see what was happening.
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it looks very dangerous. It is just
Yeah. No, like with the back rank and like, for example, after knight takes d4, ab4, ab4, let's say you exchange these set of pawns on the a file.
Mhm.
I mean, to me, it looked like definitely there was something. I can just feel it. I don't know how to explain it. There's something.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm not too tactically great, so I couldn't see it.
Mhm.
And I was just like thinking, and then I said, maybe it's possible. Maybe Mark is just tricking us, tricking me. And then, yeah, I went to the solution and got like a scare because knight takes d4. Okay, I'm showing the solution.
Yes.
Knight takes d4 is not possible because of ab4.
Damn it.
You have to take back because, yeah, there's no point in not doing it. Takes. And now, like, the problem with White's position is his back rank, mainly his back rank. Like this back rank, there are really many tactics. And I'm not saying it only for White. Even Black has back rank issues, but it depends for whom it works on, right? So
can the queen take the rook now, or
queen take the rook? I guess just rook takes rook.
Yeah, just the rook
but
takes.
You have to do it in a much more sophisticated way.
Yeah, I'm pardon that I'm my little amateur brain tuned in.
No, it's no problem. But what I'm trying to say is that this back rank is quite tricky. You have to always be careful. It can, especially when both sides have back rank issues. Once one variation it's winning for White, the other it could be winning for Black. So, and the variation I saw was take, pretty forced. Queen a1. And now, if rook d1, which is the most natural to attack the queen, there's this brilliant move, knight c3. Attacking the rook and forcing White to move the rook basically on the f in the first rank. So there's still one move, rook f1. And here, maybe you can try to solve this. Black to play.
Well, that you just take on f1 and then push the rook to a1. At least I got this, I guess. But that is beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it is. So this is what I saw, and then I thought, queen d1 looks great. And the idea is to meet knight c3 with rook d8. That's what I was talking about, these back rank things.
That is so funny, but of course you can just take on d8.
Yeah, you can take on d8. And then whoops.
Yeah, and then, rook d1.
Black can do this, and he will end up losing because he has one pawn less.
Crazy.
No, but yeah, that's what I was talking about. These back rank issues, they can get really tricky at some point.
Oh my gosh. Okay, beautiful.
So this is the variation that I saw. I was very happy until I saw in the solution, oh snap.
Oh, you play this immediately.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. Like, it's one of the strangest tactics I've ever seen, actually.
That is really crazy, yeah.
So the point is basically, if queen takes, then queen a1 check. Now, the difference is your queen, which was on c2, cannot defend the d1 square, so you can't really bring the rook back or bring the queen back, whatever. And so after you take, it's going to be checkmate. And you might ask, what's the point of knight c3? First of all, there is queen a1 now, because there's nobody to cover the d1 square. And let's say okay, I'll stop that, right? Why not?
Just win a rook, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really strange and beautiful, but it works.
That is fascinating. For you at home, I have something really beautiful, because in the ChessBase News article, there's one last very, very tough tactical puzzle to solve, which you also brought with you. But this you have to deal with your own knowledge and everything. And we will solve it in the next episode quickly, or take a look at this. But now, can you give an advice for amateur players on how to train tactics to at one point get to this pro level where you're going to those insane positions like this?
I would recommend, first of all, you learn the most basic tactics like skewer, pin, fork, all that stuff. And once you get pretty good at that, probably you can start just solving tactics from various websites. There are many. ChessBase has their own tactics trainer. Chess.com has the other stuff. There are millions of websites these days. And it doesn't make a difference, whichever website. They're all very good, I think.
As long as it's tactics, basically.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. As long as it's tactics. So you can start solving that. There's also these, like on Lichess, you would find Puzzle Storm, something like this. And there are various websites which have this entertaining version of tactics. But just in general, you can just solve tactics on these websites. After that, probably you can start reading some books, tactical books. Like one of them is the one I'm reading right now, but it's quite difficult, I must say. Some are easy, but most are actually pretty challenging, even for me. But there are other easier books which you can find. Like I think there are many tactical books, right? I've not read a lot of them, but I've heard there are millions of them. But in general, you can just go through tactics on websites or books. I would recommend that. And maybe later on you can start like what I'm doing kind of now, which is decision making on tactics, something like this, which makes it a bit more challenging.
Great.
So yeah, just increases in level.
This was a bit of a long episode, but it was so fascinating and interesting. Thank you so much, Leon. I hope at home you enjoyed it too. We will see each other soon again. Until then.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.